All right, we're starting this week's episode off with some mini ramp maintenance. We have something that we probably should have put on a long time ago, but it's okay. Everything's worked out. Ben's here. Got a bag full of goodies. We got some carabiners, more like carabiners. All right, we got some other stuff like these. You know what those are used for. They go along with this. And that goes with these so that we can do that thing. All right, bye. Why are they called carabiners anyways? Isn't that kind of weird? Like, could you imagine if we called these
Gotcha, bitch!
Damn, that looks good. You naughty, naughty boy. You guys get it? Because, like, he's over here tying a knot. He's naughty. All right, so as I was hanging those boards up, I got the idea to run some lights down here at the base of this thing, and I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know, maybe not as bright as I want them to be. Maybe I need to play with the placement a little bit, but for right now, I think that green looks sweet against these blues, and obviously we can always change them to whatever color that we want, but yeah, I don't know, I think it looks pretty all right. All right, guys, I think we are at a pretty good stopping point for this weekly Wednesday update video, and I do have a special surprise to show you guys at the end. We will talk a little more in depth about that when the time comes, but before we go over there, I want to show you guys this stuff and talk about it a little more in depth, because the main focus of this video was getting these shelves built, getting them presentable, and then getting everything moved on and displayed. So obviously the first shelf, we have continued the Goosebumps section. We've had this side done for a few weeks now, and now we have this other side pretty much done. And I only say pretty much done because I just have more shelf than I have items. This is all my Goosebumps items and everything that I can display at the moment. And honestly, it's going to drive me insane having these 3 open shelves here. So I think you guys had better get on the housewarming gifts and start sending in some Goosebumps stuff for me to display. Now over here on the Stone Cold shelf, I'm having the opposite problem, because this is almost all of my Stone Cold stuff, but there are still some items that still need to be displayed. So we've got this box here. I'm sure that there are still some other Stone Cold items in the other boxes that I haven't gotten to yet, alongside the Kane and Undertaker stuff. And I also have a rather large display right here that I just kind of use to show the mask and the vintage t-shirt there, as well as that little vest, which is cheap. I would love to have a really nice one at some point, but that one's cool enough for right now. So when we build the next section, which will eventually be Undertaker up top, Stone Cold down on the bottom, and that will work us into the Kane section, which will eventually, hopefully, work us into the Jeff Gordon section, which I think is going to be this wall. Not really sure how I want to do this yet. I guess it all depends on how much Kane, Stone Cold, and Undertaker stuff we can fit right there. I cannot believe that I'm a grown adult with a job and I pay bills and they let me drive on the road, and these are the sentences that I'm saying right now, but these are the sentences that I'm saying right now. So yeah, eventually all of my Kane, Stone Cold, and Undertaker stuff will be out on display right here. Hopefully, probably not the next weekly Wednesday update video. I think that that's going to be a way different episode than this one, but maybe the one after that. Someone is outside just ruining the vibes. Hell yeah, old man. All right, anyways, that pretty much does it for out here anyway. So I want to take you guys to the other side of the church to show you something that started that you haven't seen yet. So we are going to teleport, and the next thing you see will be this. And what is this? Well, if you've been paying close attention, this is the new and improved Dino's Mask Shop. We got this all cleaned out, and by we, I mean literally just my dad. He came out here one day over the weekend as I was out of town and just got everything out of here, started getting it cleaned up and ready for all of the Dino's items to come in here. So before we move stuff in, we are going to transform this space into a more Dino's-esque environment. I am going to be painting this black, so all of this wood stuff similar to how it is in here in the sanctuary. That is black. I don't know if you can tell. And then we are going to be doing this wall in the same brick board that we had in the old Dino spot. And I think all of the other walls in here are going to be probably black as well. I guess we'll have to see what I'm feeling. But for right now, the main focus is getting this painted all the way around the room, getting the doors painted, and then getting that brick up. And I think that we are going to be starting that tomorrow. I am pretty sure that my dad said tomorrow would be good, and tomorrow is the day that you guys are seeing this. So tomorrow is today being Wednesday, even though it's Tuesday right now as I'm saying. Anyways, doesn't matter. The next weekly Wednesday update video is going to be a giant update on this. I think that this will be the main focus, and we have a lot more room to work with here in this version of Dino's. It is just as tall as the old one, but we are going to be able to use and utilize this height a lot more than we were at the old one. And we also just have a lot more wall space because this is a full-on square room rather than a small rectangle. I mean, honestly, I think the width of the last Dino's was from that wall to maybe that part of the door. So it was very, very skinny. and there just wasn't a lot of room to work with, and that is the complete opposite here. This has to be probably 5 times the size of the other Dinos, and we have 4 walls to work with rather than 2 or 2.5, maybe 3, depending on how you saw that last Dino spot. I just think that this is going to be way cooler, and we have a lot more stuff that we can play into here, like these doors on the side, an employees only tag hanging from the door, I think would be super, super cool. And then this foyer area right here, which I do have plans for, and they should be fairly simple. So I guess we will see how that goes. But I wanted to hit you guys with this at the end because it has officially started, and next week's episode should be even cooler than this week's, but I really enjoyed this week's. I know last week's I was talking about how it wasn't the most action-packed or whatever, but I love doing the shelf stuff and getting more pieces of my collection out, and that's exactly what we did in this week's episode. So it's going to be the same exact thing, but even bigger and even better for next week's episode. So thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe go over and sign up for Patreon or become a channel member. I am not just shamelessly plugging those. I do have some really cool content coming up that will only be for patrons and for channel members. Doesn't matter which one you do. I would personally go for Patreon. I think you get more bang for your buck over there, and it's only $5 a month, and you're gonna get all sorts of cool stuff. But I promise those videos that I'm about to start putting out are going to be awesome. So with that being said, we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.